Communications Coordinator at WCS Belize. It's good to see so many of you. I haven't met some of you, so I'm looking forward to meeting you probably tomorrow at the event in Placencia. But we want to do a short, quick little ceremony informally before you guys head out to do your snorkeling and diving.
I would like to also highlight from Luke's very brief welcoming to you guys that from the Ministry of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation, we are very much proud of the partnership that we have with the Wildlife Conservation Society through the engagement with the Belize Fisheries Department.
I'm the Director of Shark and Ray Conservation at the Wildlife Conservation Society. And we're all gathered here. We are having our meeting. The WCS Belize program invited staff from all over WCS teams from over 16 countries around the world to come and learn from what's happened here in Belize. So we're actually here where some of the first research ever in the world was undertaken on our marine protected areas, so parks in the ocean. Are they effective for top predators like sharks and rays? Everyone here is going to see some of that today.
We're really excited that Luke and the wonderful planning committee, Dana, Christian, and everybody else for choosing Belize for this week's event, for WCS's Shark Week. I'd like us to take a moment to remember and honor Dr. Archie Carr, he was known as Chuck, who really started WCS on the journey on marine conservation and predator species protection. He passed away on January 21st.
So the entire atoll is said to be 20 miles long and 8 miles across and has like 800 patch reefs within the atoll itself. It's oval shaped. We also host the Belize Fisheries Department, and we also host the Belize Coast Guard. So there are three entities out here, WCS, the Belize Coast Guard, and the Belize Fisheries Department. Fisheries and Coast Guard does the enforcement work, and WCS, we do the public awareness and education. Yes, sir. So primarily what we do is we offer our guests amenities for them to come here, do their work. We're not a tourist facility per se, it's a research station, so we're a hardcore research station. We can transport our guests from the mainland to out here and back. We can take them snorkeling.
I know that recently Tide and Coast Guard Rangers busted some Guatemalan with sharks, fishing for sharks. They went to court and they were charged. But how do you ensure that to really get people not to break the law as often as they are breaking it? For example, these Guatemalan fishermen entered Belize illegally. They were busted by Tide and Coast Guard, but they were never charged for illegal entry into Belize. What are some of the things that you guys are advocating for to ensure that these laws are followed?
Well, this is some of the challenges, right? So we know that recently the Fisheries Ministry redid the legislation. We have a new fisheries legislation, the Fisheries Resources Act of 2020, and it lays out stronger penalties and restrictions for fishers. I think one of the complications comes in when we have foreign fishers coming in. So what we're trying to address is illegal trade between the countries.
So WCS has been investing in capacity building and technology from about 2012, and we have been deploying the use of a mobile data collection tool that is used by rangers. It's a software that helps to track where they go, where they're patrolling, and this has all of their data collection features. And so when they meet a vessel, they're able to document who they found on board, what they found, all the illegal activities or whatever activities they're doing. They're documenting that, and that has a GPS point, and it can take photographs. Now, when rangers traditionally go out and do data collection, they have to do it with pen and paper. But with this, they can go there, collect it on their phones, and in a matter of minutes when they return, they're able to now store this data on their computers. At the end of the month, the rangers and the managers can generate reports fairly quickly, thus accelerating the time needed to respond to certain threats of illegal activities.
So I do research to actually understand the shark fin trade, because Hong Kong is one of the highest trade hub for consuming and importing and trading the shark fin. So I'm just happen to be in the trade hub. So I do study to actually understand like the situation. People wanted to protect the sharks, but if we don't know what species are we trading, it's difficult to protect. So here I am, come to actually learn more about the global shark people, what they are doing.
Well, 30 by 30 is our global recognition that we need to make peace with nature, and that is reflected in a global target that is conserving the 30% of our oceans by 2030. So this means that we need to work collectively to conserve our planet and the life system that oceans protect. So that means that if we want to achieve 30 by 30, we need to center the real sea stewards of the sea, the coastal communities, as leaders of this process. And that is where our center strategy is. The core of our strategy is to assist, support governments around the globe to be able to have equitable process, generate the local enabling conditions for coastal communities be not only empowered but actively engaged in the management of their resources.
So the researchers from this gathering here, a couple of things. One, how effective certain management measures can be. So we've had enough time, and a lot of it experimented here at Glover's Reef here in Belize. Some of, as I mentioned, some of the most important, most groundbreaking research in the world has been done here. And what we've learned is which interventions work. Let me repeat that. So what we've learned here is which fisheries management measures work. And the results of different ones have shown these dramatic recoveries. So for instance, ban on gill nets, ban on all shark fishing within a 2-mile buffer has made this incredible, really dramatic increases in population. And these are populations that have declined, and now we see shooting coming back up. So really exciting to see. Another thing that the research coming out that was presented this week, a focus on equity and inclusion in fisheries management. So a lot of fisheries management to date has been about creating protected areas and kicking out everybody. We realize that that is not a sustainable model whatsoever. For durable conservation, the world, governments, conservationists need to work with lugareños, how do you say, local people. You need local fishers, their families, to be directly involved in conservation, to be invested in it, to appreciate it, to understand it, so that they then are the guardians, the stewards of conserving a reef ecosystem. So why is a reef ecosystem important? Again, if this reef degrades, disappears, then you have more wave action right downwind in Placencia, and you have more risk to Placencia as the climate crisis intensifies.
So Glover's Reef is a globally famous location for shark and ray conservation and research. So here on this atoll was where some of the first research ever conducted took place into how do you protect sharks and rays using marine parks, marine protected areas, so national parks in the ocean. Here, researchers over the last few decades have undertaken work to understand what factors increase your chances of observing these predators. Sharks and rays are actually the second most threatened group of animals on the planet. They are very slow to grow and reproduce, and that's led to huge population declines around the world. But here in Belize, where it's a national ray sanctuary and there are strong fisheries management measures in place for sharks, we've started to see stabilization and some recovery. But the work here at Glover's, conducted by WCS and partner scientists from locations such as Florida International University and Moat Marine Lab, has allowed us to understand better what types of conservation actions should we conduct to save sharks and rays.
Yeah, are you having, do you find that the legislations here in Belize are similar to what you have in the Maldives? Do Belize have a ways to go, or does the Maldives have a way to go?
We all have a way to go, but I think considering shark conservation, Maldives and Belize are very similar in the sense we're
our whole EEZ is a shark sanctuary, and in Belize I see that it's the work is similar. There's a lot of conservation going on, and it's very environmental focused.
Was great. We found different coral reef and reef species, about different species about reef. We can saw sargent, bonefish, angelfish. It's great. Even we can find barracuda, some of them, and lobster, a big lobster.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay. Now, how was the snorkeling?
Oh, it was amazing. We saw rays and one door shark, several corals, fish,